I told you a little bit about this at the top of the hour, but just to kind of recap, last week, or actually it was a couple weeks ago, I got a letter from a longtime myTalker, Carol Ann, who has been with Lex and I since, well, the beginning, literally.
Yeah,
I mean, literally the beginning. And Carol Ann wrote to us and said, hey, I know you were in band. I know you and Lex care about the arts. Mm-hmm. The Anoka High School Marching Band has won a ton of awards. They're great. Carol Ann's son, Nick, who we've watched grow up, is in the band. So
he's in high school, Jace.
I know, we're very old. We won't get to that. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the positive this morning, Lex. So, hey, you should come and do a story on joining the band. So I pitched it to producers. I went down with the crew, blah, blah, blah. We did. It was great. So as I'm walking out, as I complete the story with my photographer, Eric, we're walking with Carol Ann and the band director, Josh. And there was a young man named Liam who kind of started walking backwards and kind of talking to us down the hallway. And he goes, hey, you're the only reason I'm in school today. And I said, I go, well, thank you, buddy. I said, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being out in the cold because I made those poor kids march in the cold. And he goes, no, I don't think you understand. And I said, what's going on? And that's where we're going to bring in Carol Ann. Carol Ann is with us this morning. Let me turn on your mic there. She's with us this morning. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you mind picking up where I left off and telling the story of what happened to this young man and his family?
Yes. The weekend of Thanksgiving, their house caught on fire. Their house burnt down and they had nothing. Everything was gone. They lost 2 pets. They lost everything.
And she, the mom, how many kids in the family, Carol Ann?
There's 5 kids in the family.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they all do, you were telling me, they all do activities. I mean, they all.
Yep. There's band, there's swimming.
And as far as the band, Liam had just, correct me if I'm wrong and fill in the blanks here for me. Liam had just saved and he just got a brand new drum set, right?
Yep. He had saved up all summer working at Burger King to buy the drum set.
Wow. And obviously destroyed in the fire.
Yes.
And one of the kids is in swimming, right,
yep.
Carol Ann? One of the kids is in swimming. And anyone that has a child, you're nodding your head right now because all these activities, be it sports, be it arts, very expensive. Drum sets anywhere like $1,000. I mean, it's easily. Dawn, I don't know how much yours were back in the 80s.
I had to get mine used.
Yeah, I did. I had to get my French horn used because they're so expensive. So,
and where's the family now?
They are staying with her mom.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Well, more importantly, how are they doing? I mean, because Carol Ann, it's funny. The kids were all in my audience yesterday, and every time Carol Ann would come up, they called her band mom, the queen band mom. How are they doing, Carol Ann? How's the family doing?
They're working through it, and they're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
and there is a GoFundMe page, right?
There is a GoFundMe page. Yes.
So we're going to put a link to that in just a few minutes. But here's the deal. The reason, by the way, I want to thank Hannah and the crew here because Hannah got up early. You can watch this go down right now on Facebook Live. I'll give everyone a second or two. Go to myTalk 1071's Facebook page. You can click. We're live in the studio. Hello, Internet. Hello, Hannah.
Hi,
and this is going down live. Let's do this. Let's do this, Dawn. Let's take a break.
Okay.
Yep.
Because on the other side of the break, we have a special surprise. Because obviously, we wanted the family to be here, but my goodness, they have enough to worry about than driving into a goofy radio station to talk to us. So I believe she'll be listening to this, or maybe she's listening live. We have a special surprise for the family that you're not going to want to miss. So grab a cup of cocoa, join us on Facebook Live, and we'll take a break, and we'll continue right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Jason and Alexis in the morning on myTalk 1071, Everything Entertainment, Everything Rodeo Clowns. I'm Jace with Lex and Dawn McLean of the Cincinnati, Ohio McLeans. 742. So, as I said before the break, we received a letter from a myTalker, longtime myTalker that's been with us since the very, very beginning, Carol Ann. We've watched her kids grow up. We've grown up. Carol Ann's son, Nick, is... Chris, go ahead and turn the red button right there. There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Carol Ann's son Nick is in the Anoka High School marching band. Carol Ann said, hey, you should come down and do a story because these kids are great. So I grabbed my camera crew. I joined the band for a day. And then at the end of that experience, I met this kid named Liam who told me the story about his family and their house burning to the ground and losing everything, including 2 pets on Thanksgiving. And I looked at Carol Ann. Carol Ann knows me well. And I said, we have got to do something. And my photographer, Eric, agreed. And we walked out and we started planning, literally, Carol Ann, didn't we, in the parking lot. So I went home and I called Dan Seaman and Amy Daniels from myTalk because I knew, and Lex, you know this.
Yeah, our bosses.
Our bosses are like fairy godmothers with stuff like this. Yeah. And they jumped on it quicker than you can say Nabisco shredded wheat. And they got a hold of our next guest, and he jumped at it just as quick. Kris Lindahl, I can't believe this. I'm going to say usually I talk about him every day, but Kris Lindahl from Kris Lindahl Real Estate is here. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
It's funny to see you after, talking about you every day for several years.
Well, I keep an eye on you.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah. But so Kris Lindahl, tell your side of the story. What was the phone call like, and how quickly I know the answer, but how quickly did you say yes when we asked if you wanted to be involved in helping this family?
Yeah, so it was interesting. What happened is I actually had we have a couple of mutual friends that had reached out to me a couple different ways. Carol Ann doesn't even know that. So when Jason myTalk reached out, I also had other people that were texting me asking me if I could help. And it was really interesting how connected you are in social media, and the number one core value of Kris Lindahl Real Estate is to be generous and give back.
Yeah.
And so initially before we had even talked, before you had reached out to myTalk, I had already had a plan to do something to help the family. And so it's just interesting how this all came full circle, and we're just excited and honored to be a part of it, and we really want to make a difference for the family this holiday season.
Well, you absolutely are. I won't prolong this anymore. Kris Lindahl, my dear friend, please tell Carol Ann. Carol Ann doesn't know. No. Michelle, the mother, is listening because, again, God bless her. We would have loved to have seen her, but she has much more pressing things to worry about than coming into a silly radio studio. So Michelle's listening. The family, I know I saw Liam yesterday. I told him to be listening. Kris, tell the folks.
Of course. So I know that, and I don't know if you've mentioned this yet or not, but myTalk plans to cover the instruments for Liam and Nathan.
Oh, wow.
And Kris Lindahl Real Estate, we, I've read the GoFundMe page. I paid attention to the following. So we want to buy a new computer for the family and the twins. We want to take care of swim gear for Nina so that she has swim gear. I understand she's a really competitive swimmer, and so we want to make sure she doesn't go without swim gear. So that's super important. I also read on GoFundMe that they lost all of their winter clothes. Yeah. So Kris Lindahl Real Estate is going to take care of all of their winter clothes to make sure that they have all the right stuff for this winter season. And then what we want to do is another special thing is we want to do a GoFundMe match of $2,500. And so the next $2,500 in donations, Kris Lindahl Real Estate will match that donation. So I know myTalk is going to post that on social and on your website. Yes. And Kris Lindahl Real Estate is also going to post the GoFundMe link. And we have Facebook Lives that we're doing right now where everyone that donates to the GoFundMe page, we're going to match the next $2,500 in donations, just as a way of saying, thank you, to give back and being generous. We want to make a difference. And I'm also going to reach out to some more of my friends that in the community to see if we can really get that GoFundMe page going now that we have those. So if some of you that are watching or listening want to make a bigger difference, like we're willing to step up and do more. And then Carol Ann, if there's anything else the family needs, Kris Lindahl Real Estate is willing to help.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And I know the family thanks you. Michelle feels blessed to have everybody help out and reach out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Don't make us cry, Caroline, because we still have another hour and 15 minutes to talk, and you're going to make us cry. But Kris, thank you, buddy. He's standing here, and it's not just BS or because he's a partner here. This isn't just a show. He was going to do something anyway. Thank you. Yeah. This is who Kris is, and he didn't even hesitate. And like he said, like Dawn, he was going to do this anyway, and there wasn't a hesitation. So thank you, buddy. We really appreciate it.
And the family are listening. I hope that things get better for you. And if there's anything that we can do to help, just reach out to us. We're here for you.
So as Kris said, this is how you guys can help. And again, this is one of those circumstances we always talk about with my talkers. Whenever we ask for anything, I don't care if it's to save the horned owl or to send someone on a trip or to help the American Cancer Society, you guys are always here to help. And this is one of those opportunities. So right about now, I think, on our various social medias, well, right now you can watch us on Facebook Live. But if you head to any of our social media, if you head to our Facebook page, right, Hannah? If you head to our Facebook page, you will see a GoFundMe link. Click on that and donate what you can. Kris Lindahl Real Estate, you just heard, will match up to $2,500. I know Kris. I have a funny feeling that he will continue to do more with his people that he knows, because Kris knows everybody, because he's on every billboard from here to Texas. So I know that
there he is again.
I was in New Orleans. I was waiting to see Kris Lindahl billboard, but I know Kris has a lot of friends, and I'm sure those friends will contact Kris and want to help when they hear the story. So I don't think this will be the end. I think this is just the beginning of the help for this family. So my talkers, do what you can to help them out. The GoFundMe page is set up, and when we reach that $2,500 goal, Kris Lindahl will be reaching in his nice jeans and will be matching those funds.
Yes,
we'll be matching those funds. So good.
Yeah.
Wow, well, it's been really fun to have you guys in studio, and yes, thank you. And gosh, Kris, just awesome. And
yeah, thank you. And thank you to myTalk family. I mean, it's always, we share a lot of the same values. And so I'm just happy to be a small part of making a difference.
I got to say again, and Carol Ann, I know you've been listening to us for a while. It really is. And Lex is already nodding her head, and I see Dawn. It's one of the best things about working here. It really is. The fact that I knew that if I called Dan Seaman and I called Amy B. Arthur, and as much as I make fun of her, the moment I called her, I knew that this would happen not 2 weeks from now.
No.
Some companies, it would take them 40 years to orchestrate. This happened in a matter of days, and for Kris, a matter of minutes to say yes. So thanks to Dan, thanks to Amy and the myTalk staff. Carol Ann, thank you for coming in today. Please, it goes without saying, give Michelle and the whole family our very best. And if she ever when she gets back on her feet and feels better, please invite her to come in here. We'd love to give her a hug and meet her. Okay, will you tell her that for us?
Absolutely, I will. And thank you again so much, myTalk family and Kris Lindahl and everybody. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for bringing us the story. So there we go. Thanks, guys, very much. Again, you can see this on Facebook Live or go to Kris Lindahl Real Estate's Facebook page as well, because you're streaming this, aren't you, Kris?
We are, yes.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you, guys. And again, go to the GoFundMe page right now and donate what you can. And we'll keep an eye on those totals.
Yeah, links on our website, all social media.
Believe me, when we reach that $2,500, I'll be texting Kris like, get that checkbook ready, girl.
I think it's going to go way bigger than that.
Oh, it's going to go way bigger than that.
I know myTalk.
I know. We'll be going way bigger. Kris, get that credit card out again, because it's up. It's up. So we'll keep an eye on it. Dawn, what are you going to say?
I want to say something about if
Please
you're thinking about, oh gosh, can I do this right now? It's Christmas time. Think about how much it's going to... Whenever kids see, when something tragic happens and kids see that there's good in the world, that's really important to these kids in the family. I'm sorry.
No, oh my God, you don't have to apologize. Carol Ann, we're all boohooing in here.
Yeah.
As a mom, I'm just saying, because they're just at a tender age and, things might seem like it's the end of the world. And as adults, we can bounce back from this no matter how bad it is. But more importantly than the money, it's seeing that people are good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that they care. Yeah. Total strangers. It's the fact that someone's going to be listening to our goofy show and being touched enough to go on and give $1, $2, because again, we say it, whether it's Project Down, exactly, Lex, whether it's this or Project Down and Dirty, if everybody listening gave $1, you have no, and you may think that dollar is nothing.
Yeah. It's
the power of the collective. If everybody gave $1, we could do this. Kris would be digging into his merce a lot. So,
oh my gosh.
So So thank you guys. We'll get you out of here and get you on with your morning. Thank you very much, guys. Again, you can see it on mytalk1071.com Facebook live right now. You can watch it a little bit later. Kris, Carol Ann, thank you for coming in. It is 7:52. Everybody, switching gears for our last few minutes. Let me just look at the Facebook page right now to see the comments coming in. People are loving it. And again, go to Kris Lindahl too. KrisLindahlRealEstate.com has a link to the video as well, and you can see all of that. And the video yesterday, I should say, if you want to see more about these kids, they were on my talk show yesterday, and we did a piece kind of celebrating them. Carolyn, really quickly, what all have they won? Because again, your son Nick is in the band. What all they've won a ton of awards.
Yes, they have. So they are the Minnesota State Class A champions for youth in music. We also have first place as well. And we have first place color guard, which is just amazing.
It's fantastic. And they're just, Lex, they were the nicest group. And again, we had them out in the cold and all of their valves froze. So they were, I know, it was so cold. Like the tuba couldn't play, the French horn couldn't play, the trumpet couldn't play. And we rolled this story yesterday, and the whole band was in our studio. We rolled the story, and they all groaned when they heard how they sounded because of the valves. I go, don't worry, everybody knows you're good.
What's the band teacher's name?
What's his last name? Because I keep calling him Josh, which the kids kept laughing at and I remember the kids don't call their band teacher by their first name, but what's his name?
Mr. Jacobo.
Okay. He's the nicest. I mean, he's beloved. He seems like a really good guy.
He's brand new. We just got him from Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Caroline, proud band mom. I love a good band mom, I'm telling you.
Oh, yes, to be able to replace his drum set and all of the different pieces, especially if he's worked all summer to...
Yeah. So again, as Kris said right off the beginning, myTalk is not only putting up the GoFundMe page, but the Hubbards, the myTalk family, we're replacing the instruments. So Liam will not have to worry about that, and all of that will be taken care of, and we'll put a rundown of all that we're doing on our Facebook page a little bit later, because that's how good Hannah is. So if you want more information, if you missed any of this, by the way, also programming note, we'll be replaying this at 8:30. Again, we'll be replaying this around the 8:30-ish half hour. So bring in your friends, tell your neighbors. And if you want to help right now, again, go to mytalk1071.com or go to our Facebook page for more information on that.